Well, when I think back to last summer, when I was at the height of this, right, it had fully taken control of my body, of a lot of my systems. Everything was just raging. And I remember sitting out on my front porch at the recommendation of my doctor, get sunshine. Sunshine is good for you. And I wholeheartedly believe that. But just sitting on that porch, letting the sun shine on my face and thinking, this is never going to end. And I'm not getting any answers, and I'm getting sicker. And those were really dark days. And I do remember going to my husband in the backyard. He was out watering or something. And I looked at him and I said, I don't know if I can hang on. And that was last summer. And that's like kind of around the same time that I feel like my mom was questioning my sanity. And rightfully so. I mean, I was just in such a dark place, and the pain was so much, and the body temperature regulation, it was just like my body was fighting on all fronts. I was super standoffish, even, taking the kids to school, picking them up. I just needed to get them to school so I could go back home and rest. And I wasn't really wanting to be social. And I had these symptoms going on too, right? I was living in a muumuu. I was like shaking. I couldn't remember parts. I remember one time my husband and I went to dinner and we ran into another mom while we were out.
It's just off. It's cut under.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for paying attention to detail. So my husband and I were out at dinner, a pizza place, and we ran into another mom from school, and she was like, hey, how are you? And I was trying to do small talk with her, and I froze. I could not think of the next word. I could not think of the name of the person that I was referencing. And I looked to my husband just like, I'm so lost. I can't find the word that I'm looking for in my head. Because word recall is part of this. So there was a lot of embarrassment that went along with this, on top of the fear and just being so scared because I have these little kids that I love so much and wanting to be there for them. And my body was deteriorating. My husband was absolutely incredible and fought with me, and God bless him, because here he is, a physician, and he can't help his wife. He doesn't have the answers. He doesn't know what's wrong, and he's watching me deteriorate. So for that had a whole nother set of struggles with us. I am thankful I had good insurance, and I was able to get in to see these doctors to rule things out. I'm very thankful for that. And I am really thankful and grateful to my physical therapist along the way. She really helped ease a lot of the pain. What's interesting is when I talk about chronic pain with mold illness, is the chronic pain can show up different for different folks that are suffering. And for me, nothing would touch it. So much that even at my ER visits, when I became a frequent flyer of the ER, one day they gave me morphine because I was like, please give me some. I haven't slept. I haven't rested in months. I need a break. My body needs a break. Give me the morphine. So they gave me the morphine, and an hour later, I'm like, when is this going to kick in? And they're like, it should have kicked in by now. So that's just to give you a sense of this pain. Nothing would touch it. Nothing. So it was constant zinging pain for months. I was exhausted. My body was absolutely exhausted. I had great support in Dr. Ben and my lymphatic folks that were helping me move the lymph through my body to get the toxins out. To Dr. Orsini and his staff, they were wonderful in supporting me. I had so many questions, and they were so patient and so diligent with me. And my kids were so patient. And I was not a great mom during this because I was trying to, you know that saying, mom, put on your oxygen mask first so you can take care of everybody else? I was struggling to get my oxygen mask on. And my kids were resilient. My husband was resilient, and they stood by me. I was so irritable with my kids and scared, and it just, it affected my family in a great way. And we had really rough days and weeks and months and loneliness and mom at the doctor and mom in bed. I'm grateful to my mom and to my mother-in-law that came out, every other week. They were swapping weeks to come out and help us because I couldn't parent. And, my husband was working. I had several friends that would check in on me, as I was navigating through this and helping me rule stuff out and making suggestions. Have you looked into this? Have you looked into that? And my faith was really tested and really grew during this time. And I'm so thankful that before any of this happened, we had landed at a really great church, Turning Point, with Pastor Chuck. And there were weeks where I wouldn't leave the house, but I would get out of bed and go to church. I put on my best muumuu and go to church because I needed to hear the word to keep the faith. And some days that's all I had, laying on the floor next to that space heater as the mold was just taking over my body and taking over all my systems. And as I sit here today and just think about this, I'm so grateful I'm here to tell my story, to share this. But those were really dark days, and I was in a lot of pain, and my systems were failing me. And again, I had no answers. But once we put the pieces together, once I did body testing for mold, and then we found the mold in our home and put it together, then I was able to heal, and then I was able to recover. And now, almost a year later, I am a walking testimony to yes, mold illness can make you sick as hell, but you can come out of this and you will recover and you will be okay. But it's not easy. I've had to be very, very patient with this. And I still have bad days, but my good days far outweigh my bad days. And I felt compelled, in the last 4 weeks, to document my story, to share my resources so that I can help others that might be asking the same questions and trying to figure out what's making them so sick. And it is overwhelming. It is scary, and it can be expensive. But there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm evidence of that.